In the bottom left playing Greenfinger again, we have Saikoya versus RYLEXANDER, aka Volder, also playing Greenfinger. I think a lot of Greenfinger tonight. And it makes sense, this is actually a very strong Greenfinger map, lots of terrain to put vines on. Of course, vines are buildings that get damage resistant based off damage resist based off territory. So lovely 40% defense from mountains, 30% from forests. So yeah, Volder can put vines down and create really strong durable walls in this map. I'm intrigued to see how well that goes. Saikoya, they're both going for more of a delayed grab on these hideouts, preferring to go for the sides. That mage down and across early on, and then grabbing the hideout when they can. Of course, Saikoya lining up the knights. This is very common on both sides, so they both know exactly what they're doing. They'll line up those knights, get that knight crit on this village, and then proceed to threaten this one over here as well. Thief still comes in, knights go for the crit. And so far we're seeing very standard mirrored opening. The big difference here is that Saikoya threatens Greenfinger if he goes for this village, so this one hasn't been captured yet. However, player 2 does decap here a bit faster, does get this thief steal a bit faster, so fairly even so far. Just a slight difference in the timing on that. Ooh, this Greenfinger is in a very vulnerable position. Doesn't get punished for it though. We could have seen Greenfinger walk up a hit, mage crit follow up, or the other way around. Volder decides to move over to this side instead. They're both just gonna walk their thieves back even. Ooh, Saikoya has moved his Greenfinger to defend against this knight. He's gonna try and push back on this front. RYLEXANDER's gonna go for center. So Saikoya winning on the left, pushing on the right, RYLEXANDER in the center. Could go either way. Ooh, kind of pushing this kind of like bottom left front instead. The Saikoya is gonna prefer to the captures here. Ooh, he captures with the knight, sends his own Volder, or not Volder, sends his own Greenfinger back. Ooh, I like that hit with the archer there. It's gonna soften up Greenfinger a little. And how does Volder respond? He is gonna have most of his health still, so he could take down the sword if he wanted to. That is a lot of units around, so don't know if he's gonna go for that. And just decaps that village, gets Groove out. That's a nice lead on Groove actually. What is Saikoya gonna do to respond? There is a golem out, so has to respect that, and has a dragon, so Saikoya going for the more air heavy route, whereas Volder going for a more ground based army with the golem. You know, has a bunch of mages to back that up. Knights as well. And we're seeing knights on both sides. Actually, looking at this, Saikoya's gone really heavy on the archers. So we might see something like a vine wall come out and then archers walk up and shoot stuff from behind it. And they're both just kind of cutting the map in half horizontally. Mostly just waiting for a good opportunity to attack. And Saikoya did have an option. He could have killed that knight. This mage wouldn't be able to punish, so only one mage would have punished, and he could have covered that with swords and possibly a knight. But I don't know about this, because that thief can just die. And that knight can take a lot of damage too. We'll see if Saikoya goes for the punish here. They're both really just playing passively. Neither wants to engage just yet. They're just taking small skirmishes on the outside. Oh, if the Hex had come in first, that would have actually been a dead thief, I think. At least on average it would have been. Alright. And now Greenfinger can throw vines down. Keep his army safe. He's a little bit vulnerable to taking damage, but he has so much army behind him that he should be okay. The one awkward thing about this particular tile though is he doesn't have a good retreat. So I guess we'll see what he decides to do. Oh, and this thief took so much damage and doesn't have a good retreat option. We'll just actually get pummeled and die. And we might honestly just see the Hex come down and finish off the thief in the night. And do a bit of damage to the air. And oh, so many vines. Greenfinger gets that groove out. And this is when you wish you had a ton of archers, because oh, uses the, that's actually a really interesting option. Oh, but uses the knight to kill? I would have thought that would hit the mage. Alright, what are we going to see over here? Lots of hitting each other's vines? Okay. So many vines. And these archers, he's just kind of keeping them at a safe distance. They are backing stuff up. Another archer comes out. Makes sense. There's like spears here. They're not going to be too effective against anything backed up by an archer. Even uses the dog to finish the night. And Valder just wants to kill what he can. 26 minutes left on the clock, so they're doing fine for time. I don't know if going for the village was the best option, especially with so many units around. I think Saikoya can actually just clear most of this out. Oh, they're just pushing in. He does have more vines, so he has like that advantage right now, but ooh, big archer crit comes in. Gonna see. Oh, he could have used the archer first. But he's not too. Ooh, that's a nice thief. Nothing can hit this thief from two sides. So it will live. Oh, and he kills the vine to pick out the witch. And these archers are really paying for themselves. In this kind of situation where everything's super clumped up, they are so strong. And we're seeing a nice hit from the mountain backed up. There's so many units around here that Greenfinger's very safe. And it honestly is just going to come down to them like mauling each other, right? Still a mostly split map situation, so it's like relatively even, but it's just going to come down to army count and who can grind this out better. And honestly, whoever has the most archers normally wins in these situations. Goes for the big mage heal, but not on the golem. Golem runs back. Doesn't even have enough money to buy a second unit from the barracks. So this thief really working out well. Seeing more big hits from archers. This wagon, a little bit of an awkward position, but I think that's just so this thief can run back to it. Ooh, small heal from the village. Gets that dragon up a bit further. And I like what Saikoya is doing here. He's recognizing where he can actually just win fights. Ooh, picks up with the balloon. Oh, so I think this archer is going to run to the wagon and then get, like chipped around to the center. Depending. We'll see. But Saikoya I think is really winning on unit count right now. If we go to this overview, it'll let me. I think it will. Right, never mind. But just visually we can see Saikoya is doing much better on unit count. He got steel, and at this point in the game that's huge. Oh, this archer even getting a nice sneaky hit on this village. Nicely done. And now Saikoya is going full aggro. You can just kill as many units as you're able to. Big mage heal comes down. Finishes off the dragon with it. And sword into dog is actually okay. Like if you're both on full health and you attack first, and they're not in like a jungle or a mountain road, it's kind of like the ideal situation for that kind of trade. We're gonna see how RYLEXANDER responds. He does have groove, so I don't know if he has the units to go with the groove. That's the issue. Alright, what are we gonna see? Kind of gets us around on the dragon almost, but not perfect. Oh, but he is gonna get some really nice hits. And this is gonna mostly protect his army. It'll at very least protect everything but the dogs. The dragon can just run away though. Oh, and now Saikoya gets groove himself. There's no chance we're going to see a dragon come out here on the side of Valder. And he's just going to be really aggressive into these vines. Damn. I was expecting like maybe a little bit less aggressiveness, because like he is just burning attacks on things that aren't going to be combat units for a long time. Well, I just aren't combat units. I should say, they're just walling for all these other units. But Saikoya has such a big lead. And I guess the timer is going to start to become a factor fairly soon. Turn 16, there's 12 minutes left on the clock. And every time he heals units, it like drains his gold so much. And even RYLEXANDER can't really get a good combat attack back. Not that many units went down that turn. I think we're going to see a big witch hex come out this turn, especially because one of those vines will go down from it. Oh no, uses a spear instead. Ooh, big spear crits. This archer is doing so much work, like actual John Rambo up here. Oh, big hex comes down, it's going to deal more damage to this. That drains a lot of gold out of RYLEXANDER every time he does it. It's very worthwhile. Ooh, big mage heal. Saikoya is doing really well money, just got that thief deposit too. Oh, dragon or knights coming through dealing more damage. Dragon heal. Willing to spend that money. And even gets wild growth, so a lot of this is safe. And I think in a war of attrition, Saikoya has been winning for quite a while and will just continue to keep pushing. And what Valder wants to look for now, well, he's going to surrender, but I think what he wanted to look for was a possible lethal. That was like kind of the main win condition. Once you're locked in this huge grind, like killing your opponent is what you want to get.